I just ran some stats for the condo market here in the central Okanagan, and it turns out a lot of investors are selling off right now, and it might get worse. I'm going to go over those numbers and what's been going on in the condo market in the last year. Before we get into that, don't forget to hit the like button and the subscribe button if you want to stay up to date with everything that's going on here in the central Okanagan and the Kelowna area. And if you are looking for an agent in the Okanagan, I have left my information down below in the description where you can book a one-on-one call with me there. All right, so let's discuss the condo prices first and what they did over the last year. So at the end of 2022, we ended out at just under $500,000 for a typical condo in Kelowna. Heading down into March, we kind of dipped down there and we shot right back up into April at just under 520,000. Slight dip into May, and then our all-time high for the year was $533,000 in June. And then another dip down in July, which is fairly typical just due to the summer season. And back up into August at 525,000. Then we shot straight down it was the middle of August to into September because of wildfire season. So West Kelowna, there was a massive wildfire, which basically stopped all buying and selling, transactions to go through. People were still, looking and stuff, but it was for actual transactions to go through and people to get insurance. It was almost impossible. So basically all sales were halted for a month, and which caused all sales to go down. So in September, condos were sitting at 481,000, and then as they rebounded, as people were able to get insurance, those sales went through. So we shot right back up there to 517,000 for a typical condo in the central Okanagan. And then ending out the year from October to December, we ended out at 480,000, which is overall since the beginning of the year to the end, it was about a 3.5% decrease. And next up, we have our condo stats. So the average days to sell your condo, if you are looking to put it on the market right now, you're sitting at around 53 days on average to sell. Obviously, being an average, some are higher, some are lower, depending on the type of condo you have. The higher end condos right now aren't really selling. Right now, it would be the 2-bedroom condos that are priced right that are selling right now. Your listed price, or your price ratio. So you're getting 97% of your list price if you are selling, or on the other hand, if you're a buyer, you're getting about a 3%, discount off of that list price on average. Inventory over the last year has gone up 34%. So we've seen a massive jump in inventory there. Still not enough, but we do have a lot of new buildings coming up, especially here in Kelowna. There are a ton of new buildings being built right now. And list to sales ratio. So you have about, if you were to put your condo on the market right now, and it wasn't priced right, wasn't marketed right, you have about a 50% chance of selling right now. So that's very, very low. So you want to make sure you're working with the right agent who markets your home properly. And more importantly, you have it priced competitively to recent sales, not condos that are actually just on the market right now. You want to look at ones that have actually sold. And lastly, we have active listings. So total number of active listings that we have in the central Okanagan right now. And the central Okanagan is Peachland, West Kelowna, Kelowna, and Lake Country, those 4 cities. The total number of sales we have is 470 right now. The number of sales that are owner occupied is 134, which makes up 29.6% of the total sales. Now, this is what I found interesting. Tenant is 80 sales out of the 470. Vacant condos. It does include some new condos in there, just because they may have been built in 2022, but they haven't been able to sell them yet in some areas downtown. Other counts as mainly the short-term rentals. I do have a video that I just did on short-term rentals as well, because the rules here in Kelowna are going to be a lot more strict than the actual province. If you're interested in watching that, I'll link that up above. And ones that say not applicable, those are ones that are they haven't been built yet, but they are for sale and on the MLS. So I have included them in these numbers. So technically, if we're looking at investor, basically all investor condos, again, some are new builds. So, from the builder or from the agent that's representing the builder. You're at about 70% sell off right now from investors. Now, if you did take off the not applicable numbers there and a few other little condos that are snuck in with the other or the vacant, you'd be around 65%. But I just took all the data that's available on the MLS and applied that to that 70%. So that's quite a shocking number. And I could see it going up just because of the new short-term rental rules that have come to light here in Kelowna. And so if all those short-term rentals, all those condos that are short-term rentals right now, a lot of those sellers or a lot of those owners, they don't want to rent long-term. So they will be selling off their condos. So we'll see a lot of condos come up downtown and in the lower mission, especially where it's heavily zoned for short-term rentals. So if you are looking for a condo this year, maybe wait till after May just to see, because that's when all the new short-term rental rules come into play. If you can wait, if you don't want to, obviously, that's totally up to you. But I'm just saying, when the new rules come in May, we may see more condos hit the market, which could bring prices down depending on if those people that own those condos that are short-term rentals right now don't want to be long-term landlords, and they, essentially forced to sell off or use it for themselves in the summer.